Alright guys, let's look at the worksheet on dimensional analysis. So dimensional analysis is the name given to converting a quantity or rate to different units by multiplying by 1 in the form of a conversion factor. We are familiar with the fact that 1 pound equals 16 ounces, since 1 pound and 16 ounces are equivalent. Then 1 equals 16 ounces over 1 pound, or 1 pound over 16 ounces. They're equivalent, so dividing each by each other equals 1. Since multiplying by a quantity of 1 does not change the value of the quantity, we're just converting units when we multiply by these fractions. This is why we call fractions like 1 pound over 16 ounces or 16 ounces over 1 pound conversion factors. Okay, so the big deal here is we're going to be using a lot of these conversion factors. Okay, so your basic strategy for something like this is to start with the known amount or known rate and multiply by conversion factors, picking conversion factors that cancel out the unwanted units until only the desired units remain. So the key here, you're going to cancel stuff out until only the desired units remain. Once only the desired units remain, you should have the exact answer after you multiply it out and simplify it. So, since each conversion factor equals 1, multiplying by 1 or more conversion factors won't change the value. It just changes the units, okay? Now the physical number that you're seeing in front of you is going to change, but it's actually the same. It's really just changing because of the units. So on our first example here, it says convert 88 feet per second into miles per hour. So we've got 88 feet per second. We want to convert that feet per second into miles per hour. So what we're looking at ending up with is simply miles an hour. This is our very first unit we started with, 88 feet per second. So the first thing that you're going to write is this. Okay, you're not obviously going to have all this over to the right. You're going to kind of work your way there. Okay, so we'll start out with writing this. We'll say, okay, we've got 88 feet per second. I need to get rid of those feet, and I need that feet to be converted to miles. Well, how many feet are in a mile? I need to cancel this foot out, so it needs to go opposite. Feet's on the top, the other feet need to be on the bottom, and the new unit needs to be on top. So there are 5,280 feet in 1 mile. So now I have effectively, just like it says down here, I have effectively canceled out feet. I've got miles, which is what I want, but I still have seconds to worry about. I don't want seconds, I want hours. Okay. So the next thing we can do, now that we've taken care of the unit up top, we need to take care of that seconds on the bottom. Okay, so we've got these seconds here. Well, I might not know offhand how many seconds are in an hour, but I do know how many seconds are in a minute. There's 60 seconds in 1 minute. Now that seconds needs to go opposite of this second, so it'll cancel itself out. So as you see here, this seconds cancels this seconds out. But now we have a new problem. We've got minutes here, and we want still to have hours. Okay, so we need to find a way to cancel out minutes. So how many minutes are in an hour? There's 60 minutes in an hour. Those 60 minutes needs to go opposite of that 1. That 1 minute's on the bottom. That 60 minutes needs to go on top, which will leave that 1 hour opposite of that on the bottom. These will cancel, and the units that you're left with are miles per hour. Now all you really have to do, multiply straight across and then divide across the bottom. So 88 times 60, which is what you see here, divided by 5,280. If you do that and type that in your calculator, what you'll wind up with is your answer, 60, and the correct units, miles per hour. So hopefully you see how that works. We'll do a few more examples. Now in this next example, it says a patient is to get 80 milligrams of a medication by injection. The medicine comes pre-mixed in a syringe marked 50 milligrams for every 0.4 milliliters of fluid. How many milliliters of fluid in the syringe should be used? Okay. Now you can use 80 milligrams over 1 instead of just 80 milligrams if you want, if you like to see it here as a fraction so that it lines up with the other fractions a little bit better. Now the key here is it says how many milliliters of fluid in the syringe should be used. Okay, so the unit we want to wind up with here is milliliters. So we're starting with milligrams. Now it gives us a conversion here. It says medicine comes in a pre-mixed syringe marked 50 milligrams for every 0.4 milliliters of fluid. Now I'm starting here with 80 milligrams on top. and I need to cancel that milligrams out. That means that the 50 milligrams needs to go on the bottom in order to cancel out that 80 milligrams on top. That's how I determine how to set this fraction up here. Now, it's 0.04 milliliters of fluid for every 50 milligrams, so I know that that 0.4 milliliters goes opposite of that 50 milligrams. Now, once I've set that part up, I can do exactly what we did here. Set it right beside that 80 milligrams and just multiply it. Because what's going to happen here is just like it says, these milligrams are going to cancel out. I'm going to be left with a factor of milliliters, which is exactly what my problem asked for. Your problem's going to tell you exactly what you're going to want to kind of get to. Here it says milliliters. That's what we've gotten to. We've canceled out the milligrams, so it takes us and it tells you the exact unit it wants you to get to. Now all you have to do is the multiplication and the division. So we've got 80 times 0.4 divided by 50, essentially. And when you do that, what you wind up with here is your answer, 0.64 milliliters. It's pretty much that simple. Okay, now we do have some practice exercises here. And like I said, just like the other worksheet that you worked on, you need to go through these and do all of them. Okay, so let's just at least do the first one. It says convert 243 cubic feet into cubic yards. Okay, hint here says 3 feet equals 1 yard and 9 square feet equals 1 square yard. Okay, so if we have 243 cubic feet, so that's feet cubed, and we want to convert that into cubic yards. I'll go ahead and put it over 1 so you can set your conversion factors up nicely. We got to use our hint here. Okay, if 3 feet is 1 yard, 9 square feet is 1 square yard, we're working with cubics here. So obviously 3 feet 1 yard, 9 square feet 1 square yard. 9 square feet, that's just the same thing as 3 squared. That means to get a cubic yard, our conversion factor here needs to be 3 to the third. Now 3 to the third is 27. So there's 27 cubic feet into 1 cubic yard. I'm running out of space. So 27 cubic feet equals 1 yard cubed. Okay. Now we started with cubic feet. Okay. That means that this 27 cubic feet need to go on the bottom. So 27 feet cubed over 1 yard cubed. Now it's simply division. So you've got 243 divided by 27. So 243, oops, my calculator going to work? Looks like my calculator's, yes, 243 divided by 27. You get 9. So your answer here is, how many are convert 243 cubic feet into yards? So what you get here is 9 cubic yards. So 9 yards cubed. And if you want it for extra emphasis, you can see that these feet cubed here cancel each other out. Now, I've done one. You've got a whole worksheet full of them to go through here and practice with. You also have the answer worked out for all of these problems. So go through the worksheet, because you might see some of these questions again. Go through the worksheet and make sure you can do all these. If you have any questions, it would be something really good to bring to my online office hours. Don't bring them all and ask me to answer all of them, but if you get stuck on something, send me an email. Maybe I can help you with it through email. Otherwise, like I said, feel free to bring it to my online office hours. Other than that, hope you find your way through it pretty easy. And if you need help, just let me know.